Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 133 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. Poor week.
I don't want to talk about it.
Should we just send it there?
Yeah.
And just say thanks for joining us and move on. Look, on this week's show, we're obviously going to talk about Shrewsbury a little bit. We've got lots of club news to get through though, which is an absolute blessing because it means we have to reduce the section where we talk about Shrewsbury just to get all the club news in. Look, it's not because we lost, just the way it is. It happens like that sometimes. You know, you've got to reduce one section just to fit everything else in.
Yeah.
It's just how it is, really, isn't it? But there we go. We're going to look ahead to our game against Birmingham as well. And obviously we've got the quiz. And we're going to read out lots of your comments about the Shrewsbury game because a lot of you had a lot to say, so we're going to
I wonder why that was.
Yeah, I know, so we're gonna go through that.
So to start off with the news, as we mentioned, I think it was last week or it could have been the week before, where we mentioned that Paul Mullen had been nominated for Goal of the Month for December. Well, it's actually been announced that he actually won Goal of the Month.
He did. I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised, but I wanted to ask you, because I've been thinking about this. Obviously, winning Goal of the Month out of the whole of the EFL League One, quite a big accolade, I think.
Yeah.
You know, because there's lots of talented strikers out there.
And I did say there was lots of decent goals in December as well.
So do you think this, I'm wondering, did he get this before or after the Shrewsbury game?
I think it was before.
Oh. That kind of absolutely negates what I'm about to say. Basically, what I was going to say was, do you think that winning this award and being recognised for an achievement, do you think this will build his confidence?
I think, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think if you ask any striker whether in a month they would rather win Goal of the Month or they would rather knock in 10 goals in that month, I think you would be hard pushed to find a striker who would say, I'd rather just Goal of the Month. I think most strikers would rather score 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 goals in the month.
Goals are their bread and butter, aren't they?
Yeah.
Essentially.
So
they're supposed to be.
So I think it's a nice to have.
But it's not essential.
But I think Paul and, like I say, any other striker would rather be banging in 1 or 2 every week rather than just having one sublime goal that is that wins you some almost pointless competition.
Trophy.
Look, is it going to build his confidence a bit? It's don't get me wrong, it's a nice to have, but like I say, I think the mentality of a striker is forget about that. I'd rather just be knocking them in, week out, which he's not doing at the moment.
So,
but
exactly.
Because I think when he scored it, I think we had a bit of a chat after the game where we sort of said maybe this is what's going to spur him on.
No, I think exactly what we said was, this is it now. You watch.
Yeah, I think we did, to be fair. And I think when you score a bit of a worldie like that, you sort of assume he's got... That's going to build his confidence. He's back now and he's going to start smashing in. But it hasn't really happened like that. And, you know, it didn't happen sort of Blackpool game moving forward. And just because he's now won the award almost, you know, say 3 weeks later... You know, it's the goal itself that you would have thought would have kicked him on, and because any player knows they've scored an amazing goal. You know, they know when they score it, they go, oh, do you know what, that was a good one. You know, they know that. So that is the thing that you would think would give them confidence, not necessarily them being recognised, because you already know in your head it's a great goal.
Yeah.
So just because some panel have told you, oh yeah, that is a great goal.
Thanks.
I'm not sure how much that actually boosts you even more.
No, well, I don't even know what to say about Paul at the moment. I'm just, the less said, the better, I reckon, at the moment.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel for him a little bit because it's just, he took that decision in the summer, which he felt like he had to do, and to do that. And we don't know. I think it's very hard to work out what it is with him that is holding him back. Has the operation had a detrimental effect
to his confidence?
Maybe, and he's maybe not playing the same way. Maybe he's not training the same way. Maybe that little bit of time out, he's found it very hard to get going because we had a good start to the season, without him. And Jack come in, and Jack was sort of banging him in left, right, and centre. And maybe he found it hard, or maybe it's just the level. Maybe, every player is going to have a ceiling to their talent. And maybe, without being awful, maybe Paul's is, maybe he's amazing in League Two, but maybe in League One, it's just not there for him, and everything. But, but it's obvious that each level is a little bit better than the last, or a lot better than the last. And perhaps he just hasn't got it at this level.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he hasn't. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to ask the question when somebody consistently maybe doesn't perform in the way that you expect, that maybe they've reached the ceiling of their talent.
Yeah, I think possibly it's a lot to do with a lot of things. His confidence, the fact that he's had back surgery is a major surgery. It's not just a little bit of a an needle. It's like a big surgery. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things. But I just keep every week we do the podcast, and I just hope that every week we come and we say, right, Paul Mullen's back, and it's just I think we need to move on because we could talk about Paul Mullen.
We could, and I do, and I think if we hadn't gone up last season, for example, and he'd gone away and he'd had his surgery and he'd come back in League Two, a slightly lower level than what we're at now. You don't. It's one of these impossible conversations to have. He might have come back in League Two and he might have got back up to speed and he might have been knocking goals in, but he might have been exactly the same as he is now. It's impossible to know because it's a hypothetical scenario that we're not in. So we don't know. But as you say, I think maybe we move on.
Yeah, so moving on, Jake Bickerstaff, it's been announced that he will stay at Altrincham until the end of the season, which is good for him. Not sure is he getting much game time? He's
a bit in limbo there at the moment, and I was quite surprised that they sort of extended that the loan is going to go on. Not saying it's a difficult one because he was playing and he wasn't really knocking in goals, and he wasn't really, his ratings for the game, when you look at the player ratings, they weren't that high. Then he dropped to the bench, and then he wasn't, he was getting minutes off the bench, and he hasn't really, what I would say, made a huge impact at Altrincham. So I was a little bit surprised that he hadn't been recalled to be loaned back out somewhere else. But having said that, it is good that a player gets a little bit of continuity and, they get to stay at a club for a while. So, all the best, all the best. Move on to two players who have moved on.
And it's not a shock for
not
either
a huge
of them,
shock,
I don't think.
No. So Billy Waters obviously got recalled. And then promptly left. I think initially we thought he'd been sold to Oldham, but I think the story that's come out is his contract was terminated by mutual consent so that he could go out and find another club. So he signed for Oldham, National League Oldham. He came off the bench for his first appearance on Saturday and then promptly missed a penalty.
Straight at the keeper. And I think he'd only been on the pitch 10 minutes, maybe. Oh, I feel for him.
Look, Oldham, he's yours now, so it's no take-backs. So, and then John Daddy Bodvarsson also had his contract terminated by mutual consent.
This one is not a shock to me. The fact that he was only in a short-term short-term contract until January. So this one is sort of like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, he made no impact. No impact.
We all thought he would.
Yes.
But he didn't.
I'm not going to lie. He has played at a higher level before. He is a former international. And I thought he might make some sort of impact. Not
even sure he made a little dent.
I don't think he did make a dent, to be honest. He was, like we said, he was... He got a couple of little runs out off the bench. He started 1 or 2 games as well. Did nothing when he started. Did nothing when he came off the bench. And then he started dropping out of the matchday squad altogether. So yeah, like you said, not a huge shock. He's now signed for Burton Albion, who are struggling for goals. So
you'll continue to struggle for goals.
Don't be horrible about ex-players.
All right, okay. So moving on to our goalkeeper, second, third, fourth, seventh, eighth goalkeeper. Not even sure anymore.
No.
Brad Foster has signed a contract extension until the end of the season, so he will be with us until the end of the 24-25 season.
Look, we've not seen a lot of him.
But what we've seen of him...
What we've seen of him looked okay.
He's won player of the match at, I think it was the EFL Trophy game.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember who that was against now. Was it Crew? I think he played against Crew, didn't he?
So,
and he got man of the match against Crew. He looked all right. He made a bit of an unconventional save, weirdly, with his feet, which I don't know.
Save's a save.
A save's a save, but for me, you always like your keeper to go down and sort of grab it and
lie down on it.
Yeah, a little bit weird, but it's we need him at the end of the day. I think there would have been uproar if we would have had the printer come out this month in the January transfer window and it was another goalkeeper. Yeah. There would have been absolute uproar. So this makes sense that we've extended this deal, I think.
So it was announced later on last week that they are going to be submitting the revised designs for the new stand, the new cop. They'll be submitting those on the start of Feb. The 1st of Feb is a Saturday, so it'll probably be the following Monday, which is the 3rd. So
I'm so confused by this whole scenario because
I thought they'd already done it.
So do I. I thought, right, we submitted the designs, and then they were approved by the council, and then I am fully aware that we brought in new architects.
Maybe that's why.
We brought in new architects and they redesigned it, and I thought we'd submitted them again already. And I've completely lost track of what is going on with the cop. I feel like every month I read a story that says we've submitted revised plans, and because I read it last week and I was going, I thought we'd already done this.
And the design looks exactly the same.
Well, we haven't seen the design. We don't know what the new design is, unless you know something I don't know. But we haven't seen...
Well, they did a mock-up, didn't they?
No, that was the old... we haven't seen the new, so they haven't released the new yet. This is what I mean.
Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you. There's a post just come up from Wrexham AFC, and I know we're waiting for a sign.
Go on, so do that, and I'll move on.
No, nothing about a printer.
No, okay, damn. We have to bear in mind, we are going to talk a little bit about the transfer window a little bit later in the show. Please bear in mind, there's a little bit going on at the club at the moment, which we will explain. We will explain later. But we obviously record on a Sunday. By the time this comes out, Monday, 6 o'clock, something may have happened, but we'll go on to that a little bit. So that's why Siân is
every time
eagerly looking. But we'll explain that in a bit. The cop. I think the revised designs have been done in a way that allows us to easily increase again later on. Because the revised designs are still for 5,500, like they were before.
Were we ever going for 7.5?
No. So it was 5.5 originally. It's still 5.5 now, but what the new design does is it allows us to easily increase to 7.5 at that end of the pitch.
Corners?
I'm assuming that is closing the corners in.
That's exciting, that is.
At a later date.
Yeah.
Okay, so
2030. We'll be old and
let's just get the first one built first. So we'll keep you updated on that anyway. Just a quick one about so Leyton Orient. We were due to play them on the 8th of February. They actually beat Derby in the FA Cup. So their game with Derby will be played that weekend. So the home game against Leyton Orient has been postponed.
Another Saturday game.
Yeah, and that hasn't.
We're actually having to talk to each other over the weekend.
I know, it's weird. It's weird. But so that's been postponed. No date for that as yet. But we'll let you know when that comes up. The EFL Trophy draw got made on Saturday while you were having a little nap.
I was having a kip.
Yes, you were having a little nap.
My little nana nap.
Yes. So
you could have woken me up for it.
I could have, but it's a bit of a strange one because the draw for the next round of the EFL Trophy has been made, and we have been drawn against Bolton at home.
Our number has.
Yes, so the problem with that, as Siân quite rightly said, is our number in the draw has been drawn, but we're not through the round before that yet. We've still got to play Port Vale. That game was obviously called off the other week because of safety concerns, because it was very icy around the ground. So if we beat Port Vale, we will go ahead to play Bolton in the quarterfinals.
Yes.
But we've got to beat Port Vale first.
I'm sure we'll be... Well, yeah.
Last bit of news. So Phil Parkinson, he did a little bit of an interview and basically talking about Sam Dalby. He said that they've had conversations with Sam's agent. They've had conversations with Sam, and they've also had conversations with Dundee United. So he didn't really give anything away other than that. So I think we are expecting... So a decision is imminent on what is going to happen with Sam.
If we can't have him back...
Yes.
I'd like him to stay at Dundee Dundee United, because he's just been phenomenal there for them, hasn't he?
I think I'm sort of with you.
And I don't think if he came back to us...
I'm not sure I want him back at the moment. I think he's doing so well. He's still our player. Let him carry on doing well. And it'll be a lot of pressure, I think, for him if he comes back and he doesn't do what he's... I think it'd be huge, yeah. And that could have a detrimental effect on his whole career, so yeah. Me personally, I'd leave him there. Yeah. But we will wait and see. I think the decision is probably hinging on what we do in the transfer market. I think if we were to sign a striker, we'll talk about a couple of strikers in a bit. Yeah. I think if we do sign one, I think Sam stays. If we end up in a situation where we can't sign one because of outside factors or whatever happens, I think if that happens, perhaps maybe we recall him, but I don't know what the sort of deadline on making that decision is. I'm unsure. I said it was the last bit of news. I said there was a lot of news this week. It isn't. So we've talked previously about a proposal that was put to the FA about Welsh clubs competing in a Welsh League Cup. Lots of opposition came from this. Some from fans of the Welsh clubs. They didn't want to do this. So Cardiff, Swansea, Newport and Wrexham were all involved in this. Some of the fans didn't want to do this. They weren't interested in doing this. And lots of opposition from English clubs fans going, oh, you can't have your cake and eat it. Well, why don't you go and play in Wales then? Get back to your own country. Stop playing in the England. Blah blah blah. All the usual stuff that you get from. We do play in our own country. we don't play in our own league. That's the idea. It's the English EFL that we play in, and we're well. Anyway.
It shouldn't be called the English. It should just be called the Football League. It shouldn't be called the English Football League. It shouldn't.
But it is.
Yes, but it shouldn't. No.
Yeah, but we joined that.
Wow.
we can't bowl in, kick the door off the hinges, and go right. Change this name.
Well, no, people are always asking for like equal opportunities, and all races and genders and all this kind of stuff should be united. But we're under the English Football League. I think it's wrong.
Yeah, because we chose to be.
I don't care.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm just going to get my phone because I really am hoping something's going to pop up.
Okay. Look, the word on the street is that the FA are set to block the Welsh League Cup expansion. That is the rumours that are coming from numerous different sources that they are planning to block it. I'm not surprised. Because as some fans have said, it sort of is like, having your cake and eating it a little bit, Some people said, well, why don't you leave the Carabao Cup and go and play in that League Cup instead, if that's what you want to do? I wouldn't have an issue with that because I'm not that fussed or interested about the Carabao Cup. Then obviously the knock-on effect of that is if you do play in the Welsh League Cup, that's a load of extra games on top of the games you're already playing. If you manage to qualify for Europe, that's a load of extra games the following season So I'm not sure where I'm at. I think it's a nice idea. And, which is, but I'm just not sure it's the right thing to be doing. No. But I don't think it matters. I don't think it's our decision anymore. I think it looks like it's going to be blocked.
I don't think it was ever our decision.
No, I know, yeah. Last bit of news, I promise, last bit of news. So a US consortium fronted by Al Tylis and Sam Porter, backed by investors including Mr. Ryan Reynolds and Mr. Rob McElhenney. They've acquired Colombian side, I don't know how to say
La
this.
Equidad.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. In a deal worth over $30 million. So, yeah, look, very similar to what happened with Necaxa in Mexico. La Equidad, a Colombian team. They're now... Rob and Ryan have got their fingers in that pie as well. It would be great if there was a Mexican superstar striker playing for Necaxa or a Colombian superstar striker playing for La Equidad that maybe they might want to loan to us until the end of the season. That would be great. I'd be quite happy with that, as long as they were good, obviously.
Yeah.
But look, it opens doors. And it gets Ryan and Rob involved with people who have obviously got enough money to be invested in football clubs, so which might benefit us later down the line. But definitely. Yeah, we would like to. We'll wait and see.
If you would like to support the show, you can visit our Buy Me a Coffee page, and it is at buymeacoffee.com/me the wife.
Oh, well done. It's the best you've done that.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
Quick fantasy EFL update. There is a game going on while we are recording this. But at time of recording, Ben Parker is back up to first place. Ian is in second. Ian had smashed it this week. And Christian is in third. That might have changed by the time that this comes out. But
you'll find that out next week.
That's where it is. I'm having an all right week.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get back up to the top 10. I just seem to be flirting around 18th, 19th and 20th constantly.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see.
So, Shrewsbury. Let's talk about Shrewsbury.
Let's.
Very quietly.
I think if you were wondering what the lads have been doing for the last 2 weeks, obviously because we didn't have a game last Saturday, if you were wondering what they had been doing in their time off, based on the performance, I think they've probably just been on the beers for 2 weeks, to be honest. I think they've just been, smashing it. Shots. Lads.
Lads.
That's what it looked like to me. They looked way off it.
Yeah.
Way off it. Look, I didn't get to watch the game live. I was working.
I was on the edge of the sofa.
Yeah. Crying.
My head in my hands. I was watching it with my mum and dad came round to watch it. any excuse to have a chippy tea. So yeah, I was watching it with my mum and dad, and do you know what? I thought the first 10 minutes, I thought, do you know what? We're going to be all right here. We're going to smash it, and then they scored, and it was like, oh,
yeah.
How are we going to pull this back?
I think positives maybe to take.
Yeah.
Marriott was back on the bench.
Good to see him back.
And I did say last week we were umming and ahhing about how long it was going to be till he was back. And I did say I got a feeling.
Does he start on Thursday against?
Oh, let's wait. Let's wait. Let's not run before we can walk.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure the answers to that. So we'll talk about that when we talk about Birmingham.
All right then.
So yeah, he was back on the bench. I did say I didn't think it would be very long until we started seeing him on the bench. No Palmer. A little bit of an injury for Palmer, I think.
Yeah, I've read some stats about Palmer.
Yeah.
The fact that he has played, I believe, I'm not sure if this is 100% factual, but he has played about 108 games for Wrexham.
Yeah.
And we've only lost... No, I'm not going to carry on with that because I can't remember the facts.
Yeah,
I should have written it down.
I think...
Basically, we have lost
less
games when he's not played, but we've won games or drawn games when he's
get what
played.
you're saying. But I think when you start a sentence, I've got some facts, and then you say, or stats, and then you say, I'm not sure how factual they are.
Yeah, they're not facts, are they?
They're not really facts then, or stats.
Yeah, it was Twitter facts.
Yeah, Twitter facts.
So probably
ignore Twitter facts because you definitely have to quantify Twitter facts. If I'm honest, X, darling, not Twitter anymore.
Can we just edit that bit out?
Oh no. No,
I don't even know why I asked.
I like Siân's ramblings.
I don't even know
where you get to a point where you go, I'm going to leave that because I'm not sure what I'm talking about.
Like a rabbit in headlights going, oh crap, what have I done?
Yeah, I know. So yeah, anyway, no Palmer. Mullin was dropped to the bench. So we had Fletcher up front. Look, as we're going to talk about in a minute, he made an impact in the game.
He did.
He did.
But is he a starting impact?
No, he's not. It is a case of how he did make an impact during the game. But would his impact have been greater if he'd have come on for the last half an hour when we were ultimately chasing the game?
Where he wasn't tired.
Possibly. Yeah. Again, another impossible scenario to ever say, whether that would have happened or not. Yeah. Just not starter for me. So we had Fletcher up front and we had Elliot Lee roaming around, confused where he was for most of the game, I think. But again, we're asking him, I think he sort of plays just in behind the striker, but we've talked about transitional formations before where, everyone has always moaned about, we're 5 at the back or 3 at the back or however you want to look at it. But we are very transitional in our formations. And I think people forget that sometimes, that Barney does push on to become a winger and Max does filter out to the right-hand side to cover him. Very much the same thing happens over on the left as well. And we do transition. Our wing-backs do transition into midfielders when we're attacking, and then, and Elliot was sort of playing up front, but it was very transitional. So he played sort of in his normal position where he was just in behind the striker, but then he would transition to be part of a front two as well. We talked about it so many times that I'm not sure this is working for us. We go back to Exeter when we say this. I seem to say this every week. We go back to Exeter, we beat them 3-0 and it looked like it worked and it was like great. And every game since Exeter, which was the 23rd, I think, of November, in my opinion, we've looked bang average. Ever since the end of November, we have looked bang average. And people are going to go, hang on a minute, we won after Exeter, we won the next 3 games. 3 games after that. We beat Lincoln because of an own goal. We beat, I think it was Barnsley, because of a last-minute Rathbone stinger from outside the box when we probably didn't deserve to win that. We probably didn't deserve to win maybe the Blackpool game, maybe the Wigan game. We drew against Cambridge. We just, since that point, that is the point for me, that Exeter game, where since that, we've looked like a mid-table team.
I know people are going to say, though, Ryan, what you're moaning about, a win's a win. But
we're not winning all the time, are we?
And we're not winning comfortably either.
No, we're not. And I the thing that worries me the most is we've had all of these fans come into the racecourse, away fans come into the racecourse going, they're bang average, they got lucky, their luck's going to run out. And as the weeks go by, I do worry that they're right. That maybe our luck is starting to run out now. Because let's be honest, we shouldn't have beat Blackpool.
No.
That penalty that we had, that probably should have been a draw. I think we were lucky probably to beat Wigan. Obviously Cambridge and Bristol Rovers, they were poor performances, and we dropped points there. Barnsley away, I thought it was one of our better performances of the season. We were very attacking and we looked good, but we still lost that game. We lost against Shrewsbury. There's still no Lewis Brunt, which I think does have quite a big impact. I've noticed. You
wouldn't think, though, you wouldn't not being there for that long.
No, I think Tommy. I've always had issues with Tommy playing in defence. Very good with the ball at his feet. Very good on set pieces, free kicks. Corners. But I have worried about his defending, and now we've had an extended period with an actual defender who plays in that position there. Now Tommy's come back in. I'm sort of like, I can see the difference even more now, because I think we are missing Lewis on that left-hand side of that three. But yeah, I should probably ask you to review the game, really, because you watched the whole thing. But, because I've only really seen highlights and clips and snippets of it. But like you said, first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I thought we had it, and then it just... I think I was just sinking lower and lower and lower and lower into the sofa, and I was just like, oh, for God's sake, why are we watching this?
We did just fall apart, really.
Well, as well, what I didn't get, and this happens quite a lot, sorry, going back to Mullen, but when he was in the penalty box, obviously... he was trying to get a penalty. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
He was trying to get a penalty. My dad was like, oh, look, why aren't you giving him a penalty? And I said, Dad, watch the replay. He's doing the same old tricks that he does where he flings himself to the floor. And it's actually quite... If I had balls, right, they would go up inside. Because it is that cringy.
I think it's... Yeah, but... See, the thing is with it, right?
I get what he's trying to do, but it's like...
I know.
Actor.
I know, but the point to make here is, if he was scoring regularly, and he was doing that,
he wouldn't need to do that.
He would still do that, because that's the sort of player that's the way he is. He's very clever, and if he feels a touch, he will go down. And if he is scoring regularly, no one's bothered that he's doing that. Because now he's doing it, and he's not getting the decisions, and he's also not scoring.
Yeah, people are...
That's where people are sort of getting on his back a little bit. Yeah. And
I'm not getting on his back, I'm just saying.
No, and sometimes I do feel like it's double standards a little bit, because you've got...
I don't do it.
You've got two scenarios there where he was, if he was scoring goals, nobody would be talking about him. Oh, come on, stay on your feet and do all this. He's trying to win a penalty, or he's trying to win a free kick. I don't think people would be talking about that too much. But now he's not scoring, people seem to be jumping on him a little bit. And I think in them two scenarios, I do feel it's double standards a little bit. Yeah. He's just doing what he's always done. The only difference now is he's not scoring.
To back it up.
So the people like you make me sick. No, I'm joking. But people, you're not alone. I think people are jumping on him a little bit for doing that. when, if you look at them two sides, if he was scoring, I don't think you'd be on his back about it.
I am going to back myself here because I have got a problem with it. And it's not just Paul Mullen.
No.
It's when I'm watching other games, people do it and it irritates me. It's like, anyway. So carry on.
Yeah, okay. Look, 17th minute, Owen O'Connell lost the header. He sort of lost his footing after he was a little bit off balance, lost the header. It fell to that lad. Tidy finish from him, to be fair.
I didn't like that Marquis, whatever his name is. He just chewing that gum and he looked so cocky. I just wanted to flick his nose. It's just, don't like him.
Look, it was a tidy finish. Max went to close him down, and if I'm honest, Max looked a little bit lazy in closing him down. Yeah. The lad probably hit it the opposite side to what you'd expect. I think Max and Arthur were probably expecting him to go across the keeper, and Max sort of, it felt like he held back a little bit instead of just attacking the ball and going for it. I do sort of feel that. I think he shocked people, but it was a decent finish. 1-0 up. 5 minutes later, we drew level. Fletcher. The person who we've said shouldn't be starting popped up and scored. Decent header, climbed over the defender, got his header in. Keeper maybe should have stopped it, but I weren't complaining at that point. More than happy to have drawn level. Weirdly, in the town that he was born. Yeah, I didn't realise, but he was born in Shrewsbury.
Fletcher?
Yeah.
He's a Scotsman.
I know, but he was
Scottish Viking.
He was born in Shrewsbury.
Oh.
There you go. So I'm guessing he must have been born in Shrewsbury and moved up to Scotland, and I'm guessing
very young.
Yeah, and I'm guessing his family are Scottish as well, but they must have been living in Shrewsbury maybe at the time. I don't know the backstory. I just know that he was born in Shrewsbury. So there we go. So I'm sure he was very happy.
That was good.
Very happy. Yeah. Another Barney assist. Can't moan with another Barney assist, can you?
It's getting boring now, isn't it?
No.
I'm joking.
Not at all. No, I'm more than happy.
Barney.
Rathbone had a chance, didn't he, just before half-time?
Yeah.
A header, couldn't really wrap his head round it, and it just went wide. So it was 1-1 at half-time.
Can't fault Rathbone again.
No,
he's Ollie Whippet Rathbone. He's like a Whippet on that pitch.
I think for me, he is very much looking like one of the best signings we've made in the last couple of years, for me.
And the most expensive.
One of the most expensive. We do forget Mo Farrell is the most expensive.
Oh, yeah, forget about him.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. But I think I think Ollie superb, week in, week out, always delivers, always running. He must cover miles and miles and miles. Sorry.
I'd love
kilometers,
to see his stats.
Kilometers, sorry, they measure it in, don't they? But he must do. Straight after the break, Owen. So Matty James passes it back to Owen. Turns, and there's a lad behind him, nicks the ball away. He goes in to try and correct the mistake, and gives a penalty away. Definite penalty. Seen the replay. It's a penalty all day long. I think the thing that worries me the most in that scenario is, having been a defender, you rely quite heavily on people talking to you around you. We have talked about Arthur maybe not being as vocal as he should be. Yeah. You've got Max in there as well, who's a young lad. I'm not sure how vocal he is. We go to lots of games. We see him on our side of the pitch. We don't see loads of sort of shouting or talking from Max a lot. What I worry about a little bit is Owen getting thrown under the bus a little bit, because as he takes that pass, everyone's gone, look, he's made a hash of it and he's given it away. He has. I'm not trying to defend him, but at the same time, when that pass is coming in, before it even reaches Owen, someone needs to be shouting, man on.
Yeah.
So that he doesn't turn, so that he knows, ooh, man on. I can only guess he got no shout from anywhere.
Yeah.
You got Matty James there, who is a very experienced midfielder. He's passed it into Owen. Matty James should be shouting man on your back, man on, whatever. Max should be shouting man on. Arthur should be shouting man on. It doesn't matter if how many people are shouting man on. Somebody has got to shout it.
Hears it.
So if people have shouted man on and he still turned
then that's on him.
Then that's on him. My suspicion is he never got a call from anybody, hence why he turned into trouble. And that's where I worry a little bit about Owen getting thrown under the bus in that scenario. Look, he didn't have a good game. He had a bit of a stinker. He got took off later on to be replaced by maybe Jack. I think we went maybe more up front.
Yeah.
But
quite a few strikers on the pitch at one point.
But I always try and stick up for a defender. And I think, for me, I worry he hasn't had that shout. Because I think if he's had that shout, as the ball's coming into him, I don't think he turns.
No.
I think he goes back the way that he's come. So, just to stand up for Owen a touch, I think that's I thought I would like to say that. Marriott came on, as I said, huffed and puffed a little bit. I think we had 4 strikers on at one point, didn't we?
Yeah, we had Fowle, Marriott, Mullen and
Fletcher.
Well, he's not a striker though.
Yes, he is a striker. Of course
Fletcher?
Yes.
Yeah, but he's not. That's not what he came to play at Wrexham for, though.
Yes, he's always been a striker throughout his whole career. Stephen Fletcher, yes. Has always been a striker. Why do you think he scores so many goals? He's a striker.
Who am I thinking of then?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to move on.
Okay.
All right, thanks. So, yeah, we had 4 strikers on. You okay? I just feel like you're having some sort of brain fart. You're all right? Can we move on?
You can move on, but
Thanks.
I'm flummoxed by my...
By what you've just said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had 4 strikers on at that point. I just felt like they were up for it more than we were. Completely. A derby, and they looked up for it. The fans were up for it. They were up for it. I'm not saying our fans weren't. Our fans definitely will be. You don't need to ask fans twice to be up for a game, especially a derby. We just didn't look up for it. We just looked really lethargic, and we let them dictate lots of play. Bearing in mind they're in the bottom 4, we let them dictate lots of that game. They just looked more up for it than we did.
A lot of people, I read on social media, a lot of people were saying that the players didn't seem to quite grasp what a derby means to fans.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to get players up for a derby.
You shouldn't have to get them up for any game.
All the players know this is a derby.
Yeah.
They know it's a derby, and you shouldn't have to sort of get your players motivated for a derby. They should be on it. And so, I played in a few derbies when I was younger. So played for like Wrexham Youth, played Chester a few times.
Ew.
Yeah, and it's a you're only young, but it's still a derby, right?
Yeah.
And all right, the game might have changed a little bit, but what you do early on, if you've got a man that you're going to be picking up, the ball comes into him, just smash him completely. No, I'm not talking.
You're not allowed to do that anymore.
I'm not talking about going studs up and try and hurt him.
Straight red, that.
I'm talking about just completely take him out. Like if it's body checking him, doing something that he knows you're there. This is a derby and you're not getting this. I am gonna. So what it does then, it makes you second guess.
I think that Pierre did that. He obviously at the game, Shrewsbury game, Pierre. I think it's Pierre.
Yeah.
He was very much.
But that's what a derby is.
McLean,
you go into them. You watch any derby. You go in early, and you just smash them to the floor. Completely run into them, knock them off the pitch. Doesn't matter. You got to let them know that you're there. You're up for it, and this is a derby. I played in one a derby against Chester. And like I say, always try and get it in early. And one lad did it to me quite early. I've still got, I don't know if I've ever shown you, I'll show you after, but I've got a scar on my leg.
I've been with you for 14 years and I've never noticed
I'll show it you later. It's 2 stud marks on my leg, my lower leg, where the lad that I was playing against did the exact same thing, but the opposite way around. I tried to take him out early and he got round me and I was quite annoyed by it. And then there was it was quite feisty, and then he came in on me and he's left 2 stud marks on my leg. But, you know, I don't...
Do you remember what his name was?
I don't remember what his name was, no. It might be professional now.
Call him out,
Well, he's not going to be professional now. He was the same age as me and I'm 43, so he's not going to still be playing. But anyway. But yeah, he left it on me and I've still got the scar from it. But what that did in that game, it made me second think about going in again, because I thought, I don't...
Second think? Second guess.
Yeah, it made me think twice. Not second think. Second think. It made me think twice about going in.
Yeah.
And so that sort of gave him the upper hand, and it took me a while to get back, you know, to go through the game and go, right, okay, I'm going in on you again. So second thing.
I like it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know.
Like, damn second thing.
Have we got a... Oh, is that going to be the title of this?
Second think.
Second think. Oh, God. Anyway, James McLean sent a tweet out after, which was quite funny. I don't think it made anyone outside Wrexham like him anymore.
But he knows that they don't anyway.
He was quite... He was replying to a tweet from the 72 Clubs, an account called the 72 Clubs. He said, "In fairness, if I was born and raised in Shrewsbury, I'd probably be this angry as well, because it's an absolute cesspit full of inbreds."
But wasn't Stephen Fletcher born in Shrewsbury?
He was born in Shrewsbury.
He wasn't raised there, so it's all right.
Wasn't raised there, no. But
he said born and raised, not just born.
It's so weird, isn't it? Because if you take yourself out of it for a minute, take yourself out of being a Wrexham fan, and you know, if you see a football player tweeting stuff like that, and it's someone like James McLean, you're sort of like, oh, why are you allowed to say this? When he's your player, you're like, go
yes!
on, go on, lad.
Go on, Jimmy.
Look, I wanted to talk, I wanted to expand a little bit. There was a graphic on Sky Sports prior to the Shrewsbury game, so all these stats are prior to the Shrewsbury game, which we went on to lose, so, you know, it doesn't help us.
Just add one on to what we're going to say now.
Yeah. And it was pretty much, you know, sort of since when I'd said, you know, after the Exeter game, it hasn't been great and all that sort of stuff. So in our last 7 games, we've only won 3, okay, after that Exeter game. We've drawn 2. One of them was in the bottom 4. The other one was 20th in the league when we played them. We've lost 2, and one of them were in the bottom 4. But the stat is, so it was where you sort of like a home table and an away table. So our home form at the moment, we've got 38 points. That puts us, we're ranked first in League One for that. We've won 12 games, which ranks us first for that. We've scored 28 goals, first again. We've scored 2 or more goals on 9 occasions, first. And our shot conversion rate is 15.4%, which is the 3rd best in the league at home.
Who's first?
I think it's Birmingham, but I'm not 100% sure. I might be wrong on that. Away form, let's flip it, okay? So points 13 away from home. That puts us 15th. We're ranked 15th for that. Wins 3 away from home. That ranks us 16th. Goals 9 compared to 28 at home. Goals 9, that ranks us 21st in the league. And we've scored 2+ goals on 2 occasions away from home, which ranks us 22nd in the league. And our shot conversion rate away from home is 7.4%, which ranks us 21st in the league. There is
ignore that information.
There is a very clear problem away from home based on them stats. Very clear problem. I'm not going to delve into it too much this week. We will look at that again though. Okay.
So comments, the dude, it was not a good showing. This was about, obviously, the Shrewsbury game, because we're still on that.
Yeah.
It was not a good showing. Defending is awful. No creativity on offence. offence. Need new tactics.
Yeah, Phil Prother said, poor, we need better service to strikers and a loan or bought striker until Mullin hopefully finds form again. The obsession with going long all the time is frustrating. Our best and most impressive games have been when we've kept the ball and played it through passing.
Owen Roberts, service to strikers is still crap. Ref was somehow worse than the players on the pitch, but even with a good ref, we still would have lost. And one striker isn't working. Stick with two, play through the middle as well as the wings, and start Scar to give Owen a break. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Brand, not good. This season is going to end with opportunities lost in the league and FA Cup. A season of almost.
Amy Simpson, disappointed.
Humph, if we don't spend big this window, we aren't going up. Simple as that.
Ed Jones, extremely poor. Only seems to be Barnett who creates anything.
Yeah, Gareth, 4 strikers on the pitch and didn't create a single chance. Rubbish. Parky got found out. 1864 Red, trying not to think about it. We looked woeful in the second half, really lacking some creativity in the middle of the pitch. And then he's done a very, very sad emoji. I think it's, yeah. Bus Tails, very poor, no passion. The tackle on McLean after the throw-in debacle showed they wanted it more than us, 100%. Max Griffiths still think we were okay despite getting slated for it. Agreed that we were poor in front of goal. Striker needed.
View from Le Macron. I couldn't read that. It was so weird. Still feel that no matter how good a player he is, Matty James' introduction and continued inclusion is detrimental to our team performance. Also, Fletcher is a bench player, as we mentioned. Lee needs to be a player, play deep, and McLean final ball is so average for a player of his quality.
I told you we had a lot of these. Leo Caps, the team would be well ahead in first place if they had even decent play against lower placed teams facing relegation. Giving up these points will cost them promotion unless a real striker or two can be found to solve the brutal offensive showing this season.
Bruce McF, I don't get not starting Scar with his aerial contribution when Palmer seems to be out injured. I also wish O'Connell hadn't been angling for a hat-trick of breakaway goal conceded, penalty conceded and set-piece goal conceded, but glad he only got 2 out of 3.
Pete Jones, disappointing, but it's gone now. Let's move on. And Rob Abel, I think I'm too even-keeled to be a Wrexham fan. Onward. If we make the playoffs, this will be the best season in decades, a potential trip to Wembley. This season has been a joy to witness. Oh, sorry, I mean, sell everyone. Everyone sucks. We will never win again. Look, if you do want to get in touch, you can get in touch on Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com.
So a roundup of this weekend's games. Birmingham beat Exeter 1-0 to move 5 points clear of us with 2 games in hand. Wickham beat Mansfield 2-1 to move on to 54 points. We stay third on 51. Huddersfield drew 2-2 with Blackpool and are 3 points behind us. Barnsley lost 3-1 at Bristol Rovers. Stockport beat Reading 3-1, and we are 10 points inside the playoffs.
Less than we were, but we're still there. Look, we'll talk a little bit about the transfer window.
There's not really much to talk about.
Not really, but Christian got in touch. He said, so Christian of EFL, fancy EFL fame, he said, if we are going to go for it now, then I reckon for next season, we need to bring 2 signings in now, and I mean around £2 million spent, one being attacking midfield. Come summer, we will need another 4 big signings then to add to the squad we have. All the signings need to be first teamers, creating a new spine. Unfortunately, all that we have will become squad players other than Okonkwo. Brunt, Barney and Max will be great for the future, hopefully as will Ravon and Fal, but they're still for progression. Rathbone, Scar, Dobson, Mullin will be decent, but in and around new quality, the wage structure will take a huge hit. It absolutely will do. The wage structure needs to be, because of where we are and where we're pushing towards, the wage structure is going to have to be ripped up. and, rebuilt, unfortunately, because it means spending more money, but it is what it is. Look, we wanted to mention that on Saturday, there was lots of cars at the club. They were there until very late on. Lots of activity going around on Saturday. There's a few rumours. So Michael Smith is one from Sheffield Wednesday. I think he is 33. And he, so as we are recording now, Leeds are playing Sheffield Wednesday. So Sheffield Wednesday's his club. He's been left out of the matchday squad today, Michael Smith has. So we will wait and see what happens with that. That is one to keep an eye on. The other one is Matty Stevens. So he is from Wimbledon. So obviously Wimbledon League 2 club. Michael Smith comes from Sheffield Wednesday. He is at the Championship. So we're looking both ways here. Matty Stevens from Wimbledon. He scored. He's only 26. Okay. So that's an advantage. Good. He scored 17 goals in all competitions this season. So another prospect. There is another rumour that I've heard that we have possibly put in a 7-figure bid for Tello Asgard from Wigan. That would solve, in my opinion, our attacking midfielder problem, which at the moment we only have Elliott to fill that, and when he's off it, because on Thursday night I felt he was miles off it, I thought, on Thursday, and you pretty much said the same thing about him. We've got no one to replace him. The only attacking midfielder that could fill his shoes is currently on loan at Grimsby. Smashing it, scored and got man of the match on Saturday. Just saying. Not saying bring him back. I'm just saying he is the only real one who fits naturally into that position. You miss him, don't you? I do miss him. Yeah, I do.
You're talking about Jordan Davis, obviously.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I do miss him, but I think I miss National League Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
I don't miss Jordan Davis from League 2, who wasn't really performing and didn't necessarily look like he was really on it week in, week out. Hence why he went out on loan.
Yeah.
So I am looking back with rose-tinted glasses.
And he's one of our own.
He is, and I do, like I say, you look back and you go, oh, he was great. Yeah, but he was great in the National League. We're in League 1 now, so would he fit? But he's playing well in League 2, so, I don't know. But I have been talking to a very good Wigan fan friend who runs the Progressive Unity podcast, Barry, who's been on the show before. With regards to the Tello Asgard rumour, Barry has said he's got a £3.5 million release clause in his contract, which might scupper anything. And there has been interest from further up as well, as in Championship and lower end Premier League. So,
but Barry had he said that he hopes that he'll stay with us because he thinks
not with us, not with them.
Well, I'm talking as Barry.
Yeah.
He hopes that they stay with them at Wigan. Because he thinks that he'll be a challenge for them next year.
Yeah, I 100%.
So, Birmingham City. So we are playing Birmingham City at the Stoke High Ross. It'll be our 27th game of the season. We're playing on Thursday, the 23rd of January at 8 p.m. I'm quite looking forward. I don't think I've ever been to a Thursday game. So again, we have got no home game until Saturday, the 1st of March, which is like it feels like ages away. Yeah, we're not even in February yet.
Thursday is my last game that I am going to until the 1st of March because I'm unable to go to the Stevenage game, which is on Tuesday. Siân's going, but I'm working, so I'm unable to go. And then all the other games are away games, which we aren't planning to travel to. So my next game after Thursday is the 1st of March, which is crazy, I think.
So as I said, it's a home game, so we will be at the Stoke High Ross. Birmingham play in blue. Their away shirt is a white thing.
No, sorry, I don't know what that says in the notes. I think I took
a
this.
White thing.
I think it was I think I took this from when we played Cambridge. I think I replicated the sort of presentation, and
You forgot to take that out.
yeah, because I typed over it, and I think it's where I said that Cambridge's away shirt was a mental thing, and then I so
okay, so the away shirt is white.
Yeah, with like a black trim.
Yeah, which I quite like actually.
Yeah.
But that's by the by.
Yeah.
And their third shirt is all black.
Yeah.
The last game that we played them was in where do they play?
16th of September.
No.
St Andrews.
St Andrews, that's it. So we were at that game and we played them on the 16th of September, as you said. And we scored within like a few minutes and then we lost 3-1.
We did.
So the top scorer is Jay Stansfield. He has currently scored 12 goals this season.
That's what you get for £8 million.
Yeah, they beat Exeter 1-0 on Saturday. They are top, obviously, as we all are aware, on 56 points. They've won 17, they've drawn 5, and they've only lost 2. They're unbeaten in their last 14 games in all competitions, and they have won 12 of them, only drawing 2. That's depressing.
I'm going to say it, right? I don't like saying it, but I am going to say it. I am not looking forward to Thursday night. I'm genuinely not, because I think I'll be there, obviously. Yeah. The support will be the same as it always is.
Yeah.
I'm just not excited about being there. I've got this horrible... We went to Birmingham, and what we did is we tried to go toe-to-toe with them and play football.
Yeah.
Yeah? And they were better than us.
Yeah.
And I don't think much has changed in that department. I think if we go toe-to-toe with them and try and play football, I have a horrible feeling that they will wipe the floor with us.
Yeah.
Okay? They create overloads on the pitch everywhere. And I think they are the best at creating overloads on the pitch. I think they're the best team in League One for doing that. Mm-hmm. They especially do it on the wings. They've constantly got an overload. They overloaded James McLean so many times in the away game, and it was just constantly. It was 2-on-1 all the time, and like I said, it's one of them games where you sort of go, I always moan about the tactic of lobbing balls up to strikers.
Yeah.
This might be the game for doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It might be, look, we seem to do it a lot anyway. Mm-hmm. This might be the game to be doing that.
Yep.
Because I don't think we're going to pass our way around that midfield. We need...
Unless we get somebody in.
Well, we need Barney on it.
Yeah,
round
which
the outside.
He always is.
We need Jimmy on it on the left-hand side. And then we need to be...
we just need to be on it. On our game, a game on Thursday. So predictions. I'm going to go first. I've gone 1-1. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to smash Birmingham. I'm a bit like you. I'm a little bit nervous, but I feel like we got a goal against them at St Andrews. So why not, get one at home?
Okay.
I hope to God it's more for us, but I'm just going to stick with 1-1.
Okay.
5-0 to Birmingham.
All that being said,
yeah,
right, I'm just being honest. I don't want to come on here and just be like, oh my God, just because he's a Wrexham fan, all of this, and I'm just being honest, right? But that being said, I'm going to go for a Wrexham win.
Okay.
And I'm not sure I truly believe it. I'm not. But I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to try and manifest the victory.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask...
We've got a week to do it.
What do people do? Ask the universe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Write it down on a piece of paper.
I'll do that then as well. I'll do. Look, I think we need any help we can get.
What's your prediction?
1-0.
Okay.
You know how I love a 1-0.
You do. You've gone for 1-0s quite a lot. What was the score at Birmingham? Shrewsbury, 2-1?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Are you just doing admin now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, quick shout out for Dragon Chat before we do the quiz. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. The other is on a Thursday at 7 p.m. and that is for men. All the details of how to get down on the call. I don't know how to get on the call. Are down in the description of this video if you're watching us on YouTube. Alternatively, you can go to the Communities tab on the Wrexham AFC website and you'll find it through there. You can follow them on socials at DragonChat WXMFC on X or at dragonchat.bsky.social on Blue Sky. Are you ready for the quiz?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we've been a bit negative this week. I feel like I've been a bit negative this week.
Yeah, you have.
I have.
Negative Nelly.
Yeah, but that's why I felt I had to turn it round by predicting a 1-0 victory on Thursday.
Okay.
But I'm not confident. But negativity. Fingers crossed by the time this podcast comes out, we've actually made a signing or two. Mm-hmm. That would be quite nice. Mm-hmm. But we will wait and see. Mm. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
For the quiz.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, question 1.
Yeah.
Jack Marriott made his first appearance against Shrewsbury since the Wolves under-21 game in the EFL Trophy. Okay?
Yeah.
But how many days separated them two games? Is it 90, 100, 110 or 120?
110.
It's not 110, it was 100 exactly that he's been out. Question 2. Mm-hmm. We play Birmingham City on Thursday night. Mm. Birmingham fans like to use hashtag KRO on social media. But what does KRO stand for? I know you know this. It's whether you can access it from the recesses of your mind. KRO. K.
Keep.
Yes.
It's something on.
Okay, so let's break it down. You've gone keep.
Yeah.
You've got on. What's the R stand for?
Keep.
Go on. Oh, no, right, I thought there was a word coming.
Keep. Keep right on.
Keep right on. Well done. Well done. You got there in the end.
I did.
Keep right on. Yeah, that's their thing. There we go. Number 3. I mentioned that we were ranked 21st in League One for goals scored away from home. But which League One team has only scored 3 away goals all season? Is it Stevenage, Cambridge, Exeter or Burton?
Burton.
Burton? Incorrect. It is Stevenage, weirdly.
Oh, do you know what? I was going to say Stevenage, but I thought, no.
They've only scored 3 away from home, but they have also only conceded 8. So in their away games, there's only been 11 goals. How dull are them games? They're full on parking. They're full on parking the bus when they go away from home, aren't they?
Well, hopefully they do that with us.
Well, no, hopefully not, because we might struggle to break them down. You want teams to be a little bit open and attackers, don't you?
Okay.
So, question 4. On Thursday night, Shrewsbury had 2 players in the starting lineup with the same surname. Was it Benning, Sweeney, Shipley or Feeney?
Feeney.
It was Feeney. I had to have a little look at them because I wondered if they were brothers. I think they signed them on the same day as well.
Weird that, isn't it?
Odd, yeah. I think Josh Feeney and someone else Feeney. Peter Feeney.
Paul.
Fred Feeney.
Frankie.
Anyway, question 5. After 26 games, we're on 51 points.
We are.
Is that more, less, or the same as we were on after 26 games last season?
Less.
It is less. Yes, correct. I think it is less. I can't remember now. I didn't write it down, but I think that I think it's less by 1 point. So I think last season we're on 52.
Yeah.
After 26 games.
Sounds familiar.
It is less. Yes.
So what did I get?
You got 1, 2, 3.
Not too shabby.
Hovering around the 3 out of 5.
Yep.
You did, I think, probably a lie, but you said you were going to say Stevenage after you got it wrong, but we have no way of knowing that, do we, darling? So, yes.
You just have to trust me.
I think you could have got 5 out of 5 on that one.
Yeah.
If you'd have just got
right.
them all right, yeah.
It's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a strange one.
We could be top of the league if we'd won all our games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to sound too downhearted about Thursday. It's not all doom and gloom.
I'm excited but nervous.
I'm not.
I think it's going to be a good atmosphere.
I am not excited at all, but also nervous.
Okay.
So,
I'm just going to leave Ryan at home next Thursday.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy who's like, God, I'm going to the game. I'm probably going to get hammered. I'm not saying that, but there is potential for it to not go our way. And I think they're going to be well up for it, because I think they're going to, they're currently they're creating a bit of a gap at the top of the league at the moment. And I think beating us on Thursday night just it creates that gap between a bigger gap between first and third. So they're going to be bang up for this on Thursday. As well with the whole Disney FC thing. I think a lot of players want to put us in our place naturally.
But they've got an American owner.
Yeah, but I think a lot of players want to put us in our place anyway. But I think just to create that separation between the top two and the chasing pack, I think they're going to be right up for it. But the thing that worries me the most is our players should be up for it as well, closing that gap and trying to push back into them automatic places. Our lads should be up for that, and we shouldn't have to get them up for it. Parky shouldn't have to get them up for that game. The fans shouldn't have to be extra loud to get them up for it. They should be up for it. But having said that, they should have been up for it on Thursday night, last Thursday night, and they weren't for whatever reason. So, I need to see a bit of a change in attitude this Thursday. Whereas
You're listening, boys.
I think they owe it to the fans. Now, after last Thursday, I feel like they owe us something.
You're up at 4:30 the next day after the game. Are you having a beer?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
It's Friday, innit, the next day? So,
yeah. Well, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week for episode 134. Yeah.
Hopefully in a slightly more positive and upbeat mood.
I promise you, if he's not, I will kick him up the rear end.
Yeah, okay. Thanks very much for joining us. See you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.